What would happen if the sun suddenly disappeared? Not exploded, not dimmed, not dying slowly, just gone. Most people imagine instant chaos, screaming, fire, the end of everything. But reality is far colder than imagination, because for a short moment, nothing would happen. The sun is about 150 million kilometers away. Light needs around 8 minutes to reach Earth. So if the sun vanished right now, we would still see it shining. Birds would still fly. Traffic lights would still work. People would still scroll, argue, laugh. The world would look alive, even though its source of life was already dead. That delay alone should scare you, because it proves something uncomfortable. We never experience reality in real time. We experience echoes. When you look at the sun, you're always looking at the past. When you look at the stars, you're looking further back. Some of that light began its journey before humans ever existed. So if the sun disappeared, the last thing humanity would ever see is an illusion, 8 minutes of false hope. But gravity doesn't wait. The moment the sun disappears, its gravitational pull disappears as well. Gravity doesn't travel at the speed of light. It propagates instantly through space-time, which means the second the sun is gone, Earth stops orbiting. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. Our planet would continue moving in the direction it was already traveling, at roughly 30 kilometers per second. That's about 108,000 kilometers per hour. Earth wouldn't fall. It would be thrown. Like a stone released from a sling, fired into the dark. We wouldn't feel the motion. There would be no wind, no shaking. But from that moment on, Earth would no longer belong to a solar system. It would become a rogue planet, a wanderer. Then the 8 minutes end. The sun goes out. Not like a sunset, like a switch. The sky would turn black, even at noon. The moon would disappear, because it only shines by reflecting sunlight. Stars would flood the sky in numbers humans have never seen before. The Milky Way would stretch across the heavens, bright and sharp. It would be the most beautiful view in human history, and it would mean death. Without sunlight, Earth immediately starts losing heat. At first, the oceans act like thermal batteries. Water holds heat well, so the temperature drop isn't instant, but it is relentless. Within hours, surface temperatures begin to fall. Within days, photosynthesis stops entirely. Plants don't freeze immediately. They starve. No sunlight means no energy, and plants are the foundation of almost every food chain on Earth. No plants means no herbivores. No herbivores means no carnivores. Ecosystems don't collapse explosively. They collapse quietly. Within a week, the average global temperature drops below -20 degrees Celsius. Freshwater freezes, soil hardens, agriculture becomes impossible. Within months, most complex plant life is gone. Forests die standing. Fields turn into frozen wastelands. Oceans begin freezing from the surface downward, forming thick layers of ice that trap liquid water beneath. Below that ice, some marine life survives for a while, not thriving, enduring. Within a year, the average temperature approaches -70 degrees Celsius. At that point, most of Earth's atmosphere begins to change. Carbon dioxide freezes and falls as dry ice snow. Oxygen starts condensing. The sky itself begins to fall. Air becomes a solid. Earth doesn't just freeze, it suffocates. Cities become monuments of ice and steel. Power grids fail. Batteries die. Nuclear power plants shut down one by one, either from lack of maintenance or because cooling systems fail. Civilization doesn't end in a war. It ends in darkness and cold. Could humans survive? Yes, but not many. The only habitable places would be underground. Deep caves, geothermal regions, artificially lit and heated bunkers. Places where Earth's internal heat still leaks to the surface. Near volcanic zones. Near hydrothermal vents at the bottom of the ocean. Ironically, the safest places would be the ones humans once feared most. The deep, the dark, the hidden. Humanity would shrink from billions to thousands, then hundreds, then stories. Over thousands of years, Earth would continue cooling. Glaciers would cover continents. The oceans would freeze almost entirely. Only a warm layer near the core might remain liquid. Earth would become a frozen sphere, drifting endlessly between stars. A planet without a sunrise. A world without time. Because time, as we measure it, comes from the sun. days, years, seasons. Without the sun, all of them lose meaning. And here's the part that truly humbles you. The sun feels permanent, but it isn't. It will die. In about 5 billion years, the sun will expand into a red giant. It will consume Mercury, likely Venus, possibly Earth. Even without disappearing suddenly, our planet is already living on borrowed time. And the universe? The universe does this constantly. Stars are born, stars die. Entire solar systems vanish. Galaxies collide. From a cosmic perspective, the disappearance of our sun would not be a tragedy. It would be routine. No alarm would sound. No cosmic observer would pause. Which means something important. Everything we value, love, ambition, history, identity, exists only because one star continues to burn. Every thought you've ever had was powered by nuclear fusion happening in the sun's core. Every breath, every memory, every dream. Energy that began in a reaction you will never see. And most people never think about it. They argue about status. They chase distractions. They live as if tomorrow is guaranteed. But existence is conditional, fragile, precise, balanced on forces we barely understand. Power isn't dominance. Power is awareness. Knowing how small you are in a universe that does not care, and still choosing to live fully. Because one day, the sun will be gone. Not suddenly, but certainly. So the real question was never what happens if the sun disappears. The real question is this: what will you do while it still shines? What would happen if the sun suddenly disappeared? Not exploded, not slowly faded, just gone. Most people think life would end instantly, but the truth is far more disturbing. Because for a while, we wouldn't even notice. The sun is about 150 million kilometers away. Light takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. So if the sun vanished right now, we'd still see it in the sky for 8 minutes. Birds would still fly, cars would still move, people would still argue on the internet. Everything would feel normal. But that normality would already be dead. The moment the sun disappears, its gravity disappears too. Gravity isn't delayed like light. That means Earth instantly stops orbiting. Instead of circling the sun, our planet would shoot forward in a straight line. At about 30 kilometers per second. We wouldn't feel it. But we'd be launched into deep space, like a bullet fired from a cosmic gun. 8 minutes later, the sun goes out. No sunrise, no sunset, just darkness. The moon wouldn't shine anymore. Stars would suddenly flood the sky. It would look beautiful and terrifying. Because this darkness wouldn't be night, it would be permanent. Without the sun, Earth starts losing heat immediately. Within 1 week, the average temperature drops below minus 20 degrees Celsius. Within 1 year, it falls to around minus 70 degrees. Oceans begin to freeze from the surface downward. Plants die first. Photosynthesis stops instantly. No plants, no oxygen production. Life starts suffocating. Herbivores starve first, then carnivores. Food chains collapse like dominoes. Even humans, with all our technology, would last only as long as our stored energy. Cities would become frozen tombs. Civilization wouldn't fall with fire. It would fall with silence. There is only one place life could survive. Deep underground, near geothermal heat, near nuclear reactors, near artificial light. Humanity would retreat into bunkers. But not billions, thousands, maybe even less. The sun provides almost all the energy that supports life on Earth. Without it, Earth isn't really a planet, it's a drifting corpse. After millions of years, Earth becomes a frozen rogue world, a dark sphere drifting between stars. The atmosphere freezes and collapses. Carbon dioxide turns into dry ice. Only tiny bacteria near Earth's core might survive. Life reduced to whispers. Here's the terrifying part. The sun isn't special. There are hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy, and every single one of them is temporary. Stars are born, stars die, and when they die, everything depending on them dies too. Existence is fragile, not dramatic, mathematical. We don't live on Earth, we live because of the sun. Every breath you take, every memory, every emotion, is powered by nuclear fusion happening 150 million kilometers away. And most people never think about it. They complain about small things, deadlines, egos, pride, while hanging on a cosmic thread. Power isn't control. Power is awareness, knowing how small you are in a universe that doesn't care, and still choosing to live boldly. Because one day, the sun will disappear. Not suddenly, but inevitably. So the real question isn't, what happens if the sun disappears? The real question is, what will you do while it's still here?